All right, everybody, welcome back. Sam's Army match week 37. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to start with the Premier League, where we will discuss Marinakis crashing out, Pep's inexplicable pain, and the zero fucks given brigade. Halftime will be a big club-related trivia question. We're moving away for the hypotheticals for 1 week. We're going to give these guys a pop quiz. Round the world, we got the MLS Minute with the man himself and championship check-in, as long as we have time. And then stoppage time with Ivan Toney's best bets and everyone's favorite segment, GOAWs. Now, time to welcome in this week's panel of beauties. And we got the same introductory question here. We got a party question, and you will realize why in just a moment. The Celtics and the Knicks are playing in the NBA playoffs, and this has been a hot topic of discussion amongst the crew here, with the Celtics now down 3-1 in the series and missing Jason Tatum for, well, certainly for the rest of this season and probably some of the next. So the question here, we're going to start with Mikey Fowler. Is this series over, Mikey?
Yes.
It's done.
What are you doing? I can't believe we have to play tomorrow.
Okay. Tyler Terrence, is this... So, by the way, Mikey is a Celtics fan for anybody who is unaware. On the other hand, we got a Knicks fan, Mr. Tyler Terrence. Is this series over with the Knicks up 3-1?
I don't know. I mean, like Jaylen Brown could potentially, take over and be the guy. So I don't know. I don't want to, jump the gun here. We still got job's not finished. Job's not finished.
All right, interesting. I really thought you were going to go another way with that, but you know what? I like the humility.
I'm trying on Mikey's shoes for a spin.
You're the reverse jinx dude. Okay, fair enough. Tommy McCabe, aka Tommy McGunner, he is the only unbiased answer of the crew here. So, is the Celtics series with the Knicks, is it over, Tommy?
I'm a Knicks fan. I'm just
Are you? I didn't know you were a Knicks fan.
I'm just nowhere near the fandom of anyone else. So I technically probably am a neutral party here. Yeah, I think it's over. They might win one game, but it's over.
All right, there you go. Bing bong. Bing bong. I think I wonder what Mitch would say if he was here. Well, Mikey, do you think that Mitch thinks
someone's got to clip his Celtics in 5 line?
He says that every time, but I like that it works out not so well here. All right, listen, we don't need to talk about NBA anymore until Larry and or TJ comes back on. Although we'll probably talk about it next week after the Knicks eliminate the Celtics. But for now, we'll move on to the Premier League. So, interesting week. There were some, some results I don't think people saw coming. Notably, Forest drawing at home with an already relegated Leicester. That was a 2-2 game. We saw Southampton, already relegated as well, draw with big bad Manchester City. And of course, these results are all in this top 5 battle, which is technically the only thing we got left to battle for here. Liverpool drew 2-2 with Arsenal. Interesting result. Newcastle beat Chelsea in probably the game of the weekend coming in, 2-0 early on Saturday. So those are some of the other games. As I mentioned before, the zero fucks given brigade would be the Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United crew, who are now on to the Europa League final and clearly give absolutely no fucks about the rest of the Premier League season. And they both lost 2-0 at home. So we'll go to, let's say, Tommy. Of the results from the weekend, which one stood out most as most interesting?
Forest Leicester, for sure. We talked about it, how them playing last on the past couple weekends has kind of helped them fumble the bag. Yeah, they did qualify for Europe, but I think everyone knows that they want to qualify for Champions League, and it's a bit of a disappointment the last 2 weeks. I have no issues with the owner showing passion. I very much would rather play for a club where the owner is that invested and cares than one that is off doing something else. So yeah, obviously could he have done it privately? Yes, but emotions part of the game and they clearly really care, and I have total respect for that. But But contrary to your question, I go back and forth on if it matters that at the end of the season that we're talking about who finishes 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Really?
Why is that?
Like, it's just like the same thing with the NBA. Like, you're talking about who's finishing 6th, so they avoid the play-in.
There's a lot of money involved here, though.
Yes, like the grand scheme of things, the money's the only reason we're talking about it. Like,
Totally.
who cares who finishes? Like Pep said it. Like, I don't care if we finish 2nd or 5th, as long as we get Champions League. But at the end of the day, you still finish 5th or 6th.
But that's a huge difference between 5th and 6th.
But then this could roll
without the money. I'm saying without the money, like the pure side of it, like
playing in Champions League,
who finishes,
being able to track top tier talent, like
that's all financially related. I'm saying, like, it's hard to take that away, but
he's saying there's no difference between where Newcastle and Chelsea sit today,
or just like the fact that the conversation at the end of these seasons, whether it's NBA, Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, half the conversations are about who finishes 4th, 5th, and 6th. Not
who matters in France.
In relegation. Like, for me, that's just that's the bummer about this.
Well, we've been saying how this run-in is just kind of a bummer, right? I mean, Liverpool is so far ahead that we don't have anything to talk about with the title race. The relegation contenders were so far left behind that, thank God for Tottenham and Manchester United, but especially Tottenham, they that wasn't a battle either. So really, this is all we have. So I agree with you there. I disagree on the 5th, the difference between 5th and 6th not being a big deal and just being monetary. I mean, don't you want to watch your team in the Champions League?
I'm saying remove the Champions League. It's, for me, these are like artificial things that were like now turning into storylines. It's like it's the same thing in every sport, and that was just the thought that I've had the past couple of weeks. Is like down the stretch, the only thing we're talking about, and it's a byproduct of the teams running away with the league, right? I get that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a bummer that more often than not in these big leagues, we're more focused on who's finishing 4th, 5th, and 6th.
It is a bummer.
Like, for me, that's more in the past 3 or 4 seasons. That's been the storyline as much as who's finishing 1st or relegation.
And I do think you're right about that. And it is a byproduct of a team running away with the title. That's like, I mean, last year, that's not exactly true, right? I mean, we kind of had a bit of a title race.
But there's two things here. Then you can throw Manchester United and Spurs into the conversation if we're really going to do that, because why would they need to give a shit about the league? If they knew that they were going to finish in anywhere between 9th and 17th after Christmas, then the only thing you need to focus on, if that's really your end game, is obviously Europa League. But Tommy, like, to say that that's the case in other sports too, I mean, like, nothing else matters outside of the playoffs in other sports. Nobody gives a shit whether or not you're the regular season Eastern Conference champion in the NBA. Nobody cares if you won the American League outright in MLB. Like, I don't really think anybody cares about like that those sports are just simply just whoever's last standing at the end of the season. Like, and again, it's really just a matter of like, can you get into the postseason? Same thing with can you get into Champions League, whether it's 5 spots or whether it's 4 spots.
Fair.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from on this. It does think that this is what we're talking about. Who's going to finish 5th versus 6th.
The tangent I was going down is like, you're getting to the point where the middle class and specifically the Premier League is so big. And I think this year has highlighted that with Spurs and United finishing literally 16th and 17th at this current moment. That there's such a big gap between the newly promoted teams, that middle class, and then occasionally there's a huge gap between 1st and 2nd, or 1, 2, and 3.
And when's the last time outside of the when City got 100 points and Liverpool got 98 or whatever it was, like, when's the last time we've had a proper title race come down to the final 2 weeks of the season? Like, there's
there was 2015, 16 when Tottenham finished 3rd in
if Son buries a chance in match week 37 a couple years ago, we got one. So
that's true too.
But you know what I'm saying though? There's so much variability within a 38 game slate, within each squad individually and injury luck. And like, there's so many things that are going to ultimately determine whether or not we end up getting what Tommy's talking about, which is like a proper headline of who's going to win the title. And, you know, Serie A is doing it right now with Inter and Napoli. But I get it. But at the same time, like, I also think that this craving for like a quote unquote proper title race, I think is like, it's a bit of a pipe dream, just because I feel like there's always so much variability, and it could be decided by match day 35 or 36, and then the last 2 weeks of the season don't mean all that much. By the way,
Sunderland scored, baby. Yes, sir. Sorry. I'm watching on my phone as we play here. 120th minute. Sunderland scored. Oh, what a yes. Let's go. On to Sheffield United. Sorry.
It came off of his back off a corner. He mistimed his jump, and he got it with his head. It was like off his neck.
You really wanted them to win over Coventry?
I did, just because I know a bunch of
Sunderland would be cool to have back in the Premier League.
The storyline is great. I mean, listen, Haji, right? There'd be reasons to root for Coventry, and I would be rooting for them against Sheffield United. But I got
also
like Declan's Dave.
Can I have a mildly controversial take right now for a second?
Oh boy.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched 70 minutes of this game. I can't really tell the difference all that much between like a high level MLS game and that bullshit. I cannot.
I don't think you're wrong.
I wouldn't say you're wrong. Also, these games in particular, it might be tough to judge teams on this. I mean, like, I've watched Sunderland a fair bit throughout the season, and I just don't think you're wrong, just period. But these particular games, I don't know if it's fair to really, it's so,
I can't tell the difference between high level MLS and the Europa League.
That is a little bit too far, I think.
Depends on who's in the Europa League.
Europa League, are we talking about the teams that are in like 16th and 17th respectively in their own domestic league? Or are we
that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Are we talking about like a proper club like Bodo Glimt?
Yeah. No, I wanted to get us back on track because I really did want to talk about two things in the Prem, first of all.
Sorry. Okay.
Let's get Sam, on track. Sam, do you have any shame?
No. Where is that coming from? But the answer is no.
You are in 17th place in the Premier League in May.
And we are going to win a trophy, and you are not. So this is coming from a place of butthurt. And you know what? I accept that.
I've seen this online. Disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. Nobody dropped down from the Champions League for the first time ever, and you're feeling like Macho Man right now. Absolutely disgusting.
I wouldn't say it. First of all, I would not say I'm feeling Macho Man. I do think that this season will go down if we actually win the final. This season will go down is just so strange. It's been a terrible season. We should be embarrassed. We absolutely should be embarrassed by what has happened over the course of the season. And you can't, delete that. You can't ignore that. But at the end of the day, we will have a trophy, and we will be playing Champions League next season.
I've seen you
which
play
is something that Arsenal, for all your points and all your everything else, we win games. We win games. We score goals. We stop other teams. Congratulations. You didn't win a goddamn thing. You didn't win a trophy.
Neither have you. Neither have you.
I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
A little. And so that's my one thing. I wanted to say shame on you. And then Tyler, shame on you for allowing your fan base to boo a kid who grew up in Liverpool and is leaving after winning a couple titles. Shame on you as well.
Shame on me. Oh, shame on me. Okay, shame on me. Not because if I was at Anfield that there's no way in hell I would ever boo Trent Alexander-Arnold. And you know something? You're just finding ways to get your own fucking bitter bullshit out on this podcast.
Bad. He's big bad.
You squeezed this into your schedule today. Oh my God, the company's launching and all this bullshit. And you were talking about how you only had so much time to do the pod just so you could come on and come with that.
For the last 2 minutes. He came on for the last 2 minutes.
That's it. I'm fine with the Sam slander, but then to come at me and try to pick something wrong with my club after we just hoist the trophy.
Embarrassing. That's embarrassing from your fan base.
Can I step in and first, I want to address for anybody, in Scouse land who might be listening to Sam's Army, and I know that there's 0.0000 of you all out there, but never would I ever boo him. And for the people who are like, oh, like, his brother engineered a situation in which Liverpool got nothing. And I'm like, why would his brother, his agent, pass up on 10% of what could have been a $30 or $40 million transfer fee had he convinced Trent to sign a contract? Why would Trent want to do that? Why would Trent pass up on the cut that he's going to get from the transfer fee? That all makes zero sense to me. And we have no idea how much FSG was behind the scenes manipulating this entire conversation and manipulating all the storylines behind it. We don't know whether or not FSG were just like, we don't want anything to do with Trent anymore. We need somebody more athletic at right back. Jeremy Frimpong is going to be available because Leverkusen is basically about to have a fucking fire sale right now. He's probably a better option for this system than Trent is. So, like, to say that this is strictly on Trent, and not for nothing, like, I'm beside myself the same way that you are, Mikey, and I know that you're fucking with me, but it does piss me off.
No, I'm not. I'm really not.
You're upset with me that it's my fault.
No. I just want you to speak. I want you to defend your fan base. That's all.
I'm not. Oh Jesus! I'm spilling beer all over myself. I'm not defending them. They're savages. Absolute savages. This guy wants to go play for the biggest club in the world. I get it. There are competitors. Then go kick his fucking ass in a Champions League semifinal next year when you're taking on him and Xabi Alonso, who used to wear red too. Like, there's no need to boo a guy who's won a Champions League, 2 Premier Leagues, gotten you to a couple of other Champions League finals. Like, it's nonsense. It's absolute fucking nonsense. When are you going to be happy? When are you going to be happy? The answer is never. Miserable.
I like it.
That's right. That's true. All right, Mikey successfully baited us into some answers there, the answers he wanted. So well done, Mikey. Let's get actually back on track. Now, before the top 5 battle, which matters, even if Tommy says it doesn't. So Marinakis, I did like what you said about Marinakis and him coming on the field and sort of, he got absolutely just shit on for it. But you're right. If you're talking about like an absentee owner, you're talking about the Glazers versus Marinakis, you're going to want Marinakis all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. So I think that's an important thing to point out. Now, he could have handled that a million times better. Wait 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 45 seconds. I don't know. Get off the field before you go after him with you and your iPhone 7.
5.
iPhone 5, sorry. Shout out to him, by the way. Billionaire with an iPhone 5. That's actually impressive. I don't know. I agree with Tommy, but at the same time, like, come on, man.
I'm like
Nuno is better than that. Like, you have to respect Nuno more.
Nuno handled it like a champ.
Yeah,
like
of course he did.
Champ.
Yeah.
But for me, like, for Marinakis, like, I'm trying to think about this. I'm like, why is he upset that his club that almost got relegated last year is about to get a European spot regardless of what happens? And even though Tommy says it doesn't matter, it does matter, and that's going to be the joke for the rest of the season. But
I'm glad it's almost over.
And I'm just like, he clearly was spending and counting money from Nottingham getting into Champions League that he didn't have. And I think that's a result of that. That's why we saw what we saw. No sane person in their right mind, unless they're on copious amounts of drugs, would be upset with the fact that Nottingham Forest drew a game that they should have won in a magical fairy tale season, coming off of 17th place. You should be familiar with that, Sam. 17th place. You've been there before, right? So, like, I don't understand. For me, it makes zero sense. Like, I get it, sure. If you're choosing between Glazers and Marinakis, like, absolutely. But, like, I'm almost to the point where, like, I'd rather take a bullet to the head because, like, why would I want to coach for an owner who's not going to be satisfied with a jump 12 places into a European spot? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I think he's satisfied when he takes the emotion out of it. But it'd be like the same as saying Leicester, hey, like Leicester, 3 games before the season ends, you lose a game or tie a game that drops you out of first place when you were winning the league. Even though you were in 17th the year before, like, you just get so caught up in the emotion. And
yeah, expectation is the
and like, contrary to what I just said 10 minutes ago, Champions League is clearly a trophy for people. Like, that you get lost in that, and you're like, fuck. And yeah.
So as an owner, he's allowed him to. I mean, their payroll to turnover is crazy. They made 40 something signings in 2 seasons. He's clearly invested in the club. He's clearly earned the right to have opinions on the performance. That's not the state. Closed doors is one thing, absolutely. But I think at the end of the day, he definitely lives and breathes with it, which, like Tommy said, is probably what you want.
Yeah.
I was wondering when Peaches was going to chime in, and she loves him. Big boss.
I mean, he came in and has been throwing money at the club in a way that, any club, any fan base.
You can put up with any type of owner as long as they bankroll you.
I mean, look at Chelsea for 15 years.
I could not. I could not as in knowing myself, if I was a coach in the Premier League and I had a fucking lunatic for an owner, I could not. Could not be.
It was about the Taiwo thing, right? I know Peaches just mentioned Taiwo, but I think what he was mad about was not substituting in. They finished the match with 10 men.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's really what it was, which to all accounts could have been an oversight. He could have really been upset about that.
I actually couldn't tell. Was that because there was sort of a miscommunication? Had they already put up the board?
The injury was in the 87th through the 90th, and they made a change in the 91st and finished with 10 men.
Okay. Well, I think long story short, we, agree there. We understand where the owner is coming from, but obviously just being adults here and not being caught up in the moment at this moment, he took it too far. Now Pep and City. I mean, talk about an inexplicable result. Now, Mikey, this is a team that you said, and you actually looked quite prescient for quite a while there, that they were not going to drop points for the rest of the season, and they have done quite well. And then they go to Southampton and they draw in just a borderline unwatchable game, by the way. They looked horrible. Shout out to Southampton's social admins, by the way, who
they really triggered those guys.
Diaz, his post game, or was it? Yeah, it was post game.
Yeah, it was Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, Ruben Diaz said they didn't want to play. They didn't want to play, and then they just highlighted all their just City's terrible passes, terrible play. I mean, what any thing to say for yourself?
Yeah, where the fuck were these results the last 5 years? I mean, that's unbelievable that we're getting these frustrating 0-0s in the year where it doesn't matter. It's infuriating. I mean, by all accounts,
in the year when it doesn't matter, your club needs to constantly put yourself in a position for it to matter all the time. You can't be upset with City because you guys didn't fucking decide to show up when you needed to show up. But that's nothing new for your fucking trophyless manager. That's nothing new.
First of all, I didn't even mention Arsenal, but a Liverpool fan did. Consider me shocked. Second of all, Man City just didn't care. They seemed to not care. And at the end of the day, I'm one of the idiots who brought Haaland back into his FPL team, thought this was going to be an absolute shit kicking. It just felt like we were watching Newcastle try to break down a low block team. It just really wasn't City-like. So, I mean, this result alone, by the way, is going to result in £250 million spent in the summer. But yeah, I have no defense for it. It was completely shocking.
What it looked like to me is it looked like a team that has been kind of, more or less sleepwalking for the last however many months. And, they played well for the last few weeks. Yeah, maybe even longer than that. But at the same time, it's just they're not a real team, and they've been shut off for so long that they just didn't have it in them. And that's the only way I can explain that game because it was awful.
Well, they did what they needed to do to get in the top 4, and I think they're pretty safe here. So I think that really is a result of them just being like, we're safe. It's over.
Let's move on, though, because the rest of the conversation is just going to be about top 4/top 5, and it doesn't matter. So
yeah, Tommy hates that shit.
Oh, Tommy, anything to say about Liverpool Arsenal? Now that we have a Liverpool,
it doesn't matter. So why would we?
No, not really.
And by the way, Adam F is currently in the live stream chat, and the only reason he's in the live stream chat is number one because he's a beaut. Number two is because he's subscribed to the Patreon, which is about $3.99 a month. If you haven't done so, then go and do it. Therefore, you can be a part of the Discord, and you can hear me not only talk shit about Liverpool being champions, but also in the off-topic section of the Discord and talk shit about the Knicks beating the Celtics in 5. Bing bong, fuck your life. So
It's been a really bad month.
With that in mind, I'm living the fucking dream over here. Okay. And I think that we should move on to bigger and better things because there's no reason to talk about Liverpool, who are currently enduring the last few games of the season with a guard of honor. Clap for me, you fucking losers, because that's the ultimate shithousery of this league, and I love it. And what we do for the rest of the season doesn't matter because we're champions, and why the fuck would anything else matter?
Lewis Skelly did clap. I don't understand what's going on there, by the way. But we can move on.
All right, we'll move on. I mean, like, really, that game didn't matter for Arsenal either at this point, so.
Not really.
It didn't really matter.
Well, we still haven't lost to a Big Six side.
Well, that's nice. Do you get a trophy or a banner? Maybe
Nope.
a banner for that.
Nope,
No
but the
banner?
Twitter graphics.
No,
still
Sam,
plays.
you are counting your trophy.
Yeah,
really,
what
really.
the hell is
What
that?
is
Sam's
going
like
on?
trophy guy now.
Listen, I don't get this close to trophies very often. I got a little bit of a red rocket going
I don't
on over here.
understand the fact that you are so confident as if this is something that you've done or experienced before in your life is appalling.
I mean, have you guys seen Manchester United play
Have
recently?
you seen you play?
I think I want to come to Chicago for that final. Where let's meet somewhere. I want to watch the life come out of your
Meet
eyes.
somewhere.
So it's the 21st. It's a Wednesday game. Okay.
Wednesday the what?
21st. So
I'm going to be there that weekend.
Oh, well, extend your
In
triple a little
Chicago?
bit.
I'm going to be there that weekend. Maybe I come up on Wednesday.
Extend your triple a little bit.
I'm not kidding.
I will fly in at 6 a.m. and I will leave after the game at 8 p.m.
I'm 100% serious. I will do that.
Let's do it. I'm in.
There it is.
And I might have to get a Bruno Fernandes kit. I'm going to put $1,000 on United. We're doing this.
Are you sure you're going to think about this after the pod? You're going to be like, I don't want to spend $1,000 on Manchester United. You have to.
I do.
Okay. All right. I like where this is headed. I mean, I don't like that you're going to be out so much money, but I like the rest of it. I like that. And you're going to have a Bruno jersey to go home with. So that's nice. Anything else in the Premier League? I mean, the zero fucks given brigade with Tottenham and United is actually pretty funny, but what else is there to say? We should do a live watch along. We would probably have to do it in your house, Sam, if we were going to pull it off the right way. I don't think we could do it in a bar, but we could do it at like Declan's. Declan's might be closed, so we could just do it at a closed bar.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Declan Dave's going to be in a great mood with Sunderland just having won too. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. This has legs. We'll work on it. Let's do quickly FPL updates because we're really getting into, speaking of things that do matter, unlike the top 4/5 battle. Oh boy. FPL. What do we got here? We got some cup sets, or a lot of cup dates. Mitch is not on, but he actually lost all 3 of his cup games this week. Apparently he could have made one sub. He didn't say who the sub was, and he could have won them all. But that was unfortunate for him. Now in the Discord sickos specific cup, who do we got left right now? I can't actually see it.
I don't know, Sam.
Did you have to enter into that in order?
No, it automatically plays you in it.
So I don't know where. I don't know.
It's on the tab. There's a tab on the right for leagues, and then there's a separate tab for club.
Thanks, jackass. I'm not fucking boomer zoomer over here, right? It didn't show up in my tabs. That's what I'm saying to you. Like I don't have like the sickos one. Like it's literally it's not there.
No.
That's
Actually, we all got together on the Discord and only allowed ball knowers in there. So unfortunately,
you got left on the sidelines. Well, here's my question for you as we learn this as it goes. I don't know how to see who's left in the cups. How do you see it? Like,
oh my God, do I have to do this?
Let's move on. Let's move on then, because this is the least entertaining.
It is. I just wanted to give a shout out to the people who are still alive in the cups.
I don't.
We're down.
Nerds.
Neither do I, because I got knocked out of the main Sam's Army Cup in the quarterfinals.
Oh, well, Mikey, you figured it out. By the way, the other thing that's still we'll give a shout out to the people at the top of the league. Luke McCulloch actually moved into first place. Anna Cortez is his team.
It's the final
moved in-
four.
I know
Californication, Kidden Like Jason, Silver Wolf, and Alice in Wonderland. Congratulations to you four.
That's the Sicko. That's the Sicko Cup.
Yes.
So who's alive in the Podcast Cup?
Oh, I'm gonna kill you. That's Sickos. Hold on. I have to hit back now 1,000,000 times. I can't believe you're making me do this. This is like me walking through why the Knicks are efficient. The Sam's Army Podcast Cup, you said?
Yes.
Okay, 1 second, stand by. There's no way to find that. Sorry.
I will just say that I entered in the round of 512 and I got to the quarterfinal. So in unprecedented, I was Plymouth Argyle of this cup competition. I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
I mean, you were because as I was going to get down to it, Sam's Army Council of Elders, we're really getting down to it here, and Mitchell and Tyler are now, let's see, 21 points
he's got a little bit of a lead, but I got a free hit up my sleeve for one of these last couple of weeks.
Oh, and remember, so Mitchell is up 21 points with 2 match weeks left, and the loser will be dancing on TikTok, which obviously nobody wants, including the watchers of TikTok. That's okay. So stay tuned for that. Now we'll move on to quickly the weekend ahead. The games that matter. We have 2 on Friday. This is hilarious that Villa and Chelsea are both playing on Friday, and they're both playing against the Zero Fucks Given Brigade representatives. So Villa plays at home against Tottenham. Chelsea plays at home against Manchester United. You can just lock those games in. Chelsea and Villa are winning by probably multiple goals in both those games. The other games, West Ham is hosting Forest. Arsenal is hosting Newcastle, and Manchester City is hosting Bournemouth. Any thoughts or interest in any of those games?
Yeah, West Ham's going to give Forest some problems.
Yeah, are we basically? So I hate to say it, but Forest is in a real tough spot right now.
I don't count them out. I don't count them out just yet.
I don't either because I think their last game is
Chelsea.
Oof. So it's good and bad. Obviously, they play
it's good. It's not. There's no bad. It's just good. If you're in
would
control.
You rather play Chelsea?
You're in control of 6 points, effectively.
True, but you got other teams to worry about. And wouldn't you rather play Ipswich than Chelsea?
No, I'd rather know who I haven't, because Chelsea haven't been great, and all you're really going to end up having to do, as long as you take care of business this weekend, then you just have to scoreboard watch for Villa, and just for the next 2 weeks, and that's it.
So Connor in the chat just put up a question. Can we talk about the financial implications for the loser of Spurs versus United? So I think that this question actually may get to what Tommy was saying before, where the financial implications for these teams, do they matter? I mean, they'll matter for Aston Villa.
No, not for the likes of Villa, and not in the same way, I should say, for the likes of
It matters for recruitment more than it does financial implications.
Right. You can recruit a top tier talent, but like Manchester United and Tottenham, for all the shit we like to give about Tottenham, maybe not you guys like to give about them not really being top 6. They are absolutely top 6 when it comes to financial, from a financial perspective.
Yeah, because even if you did have to sell some players, if you were United, who's gonna take on some of those contracts? I mean, they're obscene. So I just don't. It's not really affecting them all that much.
All right, now before we get to halftime, we got to get a word from our sponsors over at Kick It, the best one-stop shop for your soccer tennis needs. Tyler, why don't you give us a little inside scoop on Kick It?
Yeah. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna head to kickit.net. Okay. Then you're gonna go to the basic soccer tennis set, and you're gonna click on it, and you're gonna go to checkout, and you're gonna put in the code SAM25, and then you're gonna buy it, and you're gonna see that you get 10% off because you're a listener of the pod, and because we love you and you love us, and it's reciprocal, and everybody love everybody. And then in probably 5 to 7 business days, you're going to get something in the mail, and it's going to be something that is going to be the best decision that you ever made. You're going to play it 2 to 3 times a week. It's going to be the best 60 or 70 bucks that you've spent in a long, long time. And then you're going to come into the Discord, which most of you are probably already signed up for. If not, then you just need to head over and do that, $3.99 a month. And you're going to say, thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you for introducing Kick It into my life, because now I can be competitive while at the same time get some touches in and be cheeky with my touches. And even for, your friend Billy, who can't touch the ball properly, the ball is designed for those of you who are donkeys. Like Darwin Nunez could be good at Kick It. Think about that for a second. Darwin Nunez. All right.
And where do you get this? Where do you get this?
Were you not listening to the first?
Hit us with it one more time.
Kickit.net, code SAM25. If you're hard of hearing, like my elderly senior citizen friend Sam over here, it's Kickit.net, code SAM25. Do it now. What are you waiting for?
There you go. Well done. I'm glad you threw Billy and Darwin under the bus instead of me this time. I appreciated that.
You're welcome.
Until the hard of hearing thing. Then we're right back. All right. Halftime, where we are going to do a little pop quiz, which I do every now and again. So Sportico came out with their, this list that they come out with every year. And I want to see your hands, Mikey. I want to see your hands, Tyler. No cheating. So they come out with their top 50 most valuable clubs in the world list this over the last couple of days. So I got a couple questions for you guys on this. So it's top 50, remember. How many of the you might be able this one might be a softball. I assume Tyler may already know the answer to this just from being around the league and doing his little homework that he always does. How many of the top 50 most valuable clubs in the world are from MLS?
19.
God damn it, Tyler. He has done his homework.
What
Now,
do you,
Mikey.
What do you think I do all day? No,
I know.
Oh,
I
I thought that was a joke.
What would you have guessed, Mikey?
4?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it just speaks to the what relegation and promotion. Why we're not.
Can I guess which one isn't?
Which one? There's more than one that are not in the top 50.
Yeah, I forgot that it's not 20. Let's see if do you have the list in front of you? I'll see if I can get a couple that aren't. Vancouver
is not.
Bang.
Yeah, there's like 11 or so.
Chicago.
Wrong.
Yep.
They are in the top 50.
No,
right?
were they?
They aren't? I thought they were.
I don't think they are, because they don't own Soldier Field. The clubs.
Oh, that's a good point. Good point.
Yeah, the clubs that are in this list have their own soccer specific stadium. It's been built relatively recently for the most part, and like they have decent to good overhead, minimal costs.
What
Reds,
I will say,
Chicago,
the fire will be there. The fire will be there
for sure. But like it literally cost them like $250,000 just to open up Soldier Field for every single game that they play.
Fair.
That's hilarious. Just for Shaqiri to walk around.
Fuck me, man. And this guy turns into the best players the Super League has seen in 20 years.
Fucking bowling ball, lazy ass bowling ball. Yeah, I mean, like, you want to take any more guesses, Mikey?
Revolution, Chicago. No, I mean, I don't have a deep Austin. I'm kidding. They're probably good. No, I don't know.
Is Austin in it? I think they are.
They are. Austin's in it. Yeah.
Charlotte is not, right? Because they don't know.
Montreal
is in it. Is not in the top 50.
Is Charlotte in it, Sam?
I don't think. Yes, Charlotte is in the top 50.
They are in it. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind here is that like it's also based upon your expansion fee, because the expansion fee is like an automatic initial valuation of the club.
That's interesting.
Is San Diego in it?
I don't think so.
Too new, right?
But they did have that huge,
But they paid.
No, they're not in it.
Get into the league.
They may not have even been evaluated yet.
Yeah,
that might be true too. All right, so I got some more questions for you here, and so we'll get back into MLS maybe a little bit. So
Damn, I thought me and Tyler were going to get to put our heads together for a trivia question. That would have been
well,
fun.
you are. So give me the top 5 in order. Most valuable clubs right now, according to Sportico.
Barca Madrid. I mean, does Barca's debt take them out of that? No, it's still Barca Madrid.
Isn't United in there?
Let's
You guys
go
want me
Barca
to
Madrid
give you
United.
answers?
No,
You
I'm
want
going
me
to say
to
that
help?
those are. Tell us how many, and then we'll
5.
kick some out.
5.
Barca Madrid. No, I know, but we got Barca Madrid United. We're just going to go with it.
Liverpool.
Sure, I want to hear.
They're going to be anywhere between 8 and 5 is my guess.
One more.
Juventus? No. Neither of the Milans. Not
PSG?
Bayern. Let's go PSG. We'll do those 5.
Okay. You guys did pretty well. So Real Madrid is number 1.
Sure.
Manchester United is number 2.
There you go.
Barcelona 3.
Okay.
Liverpool 4.
There you go.
5th, Bayern Munich.
Over PSG. That's interesting to me.
Over PSG, over Man City, over Arsenal, over Tottenham. And I'm basically going in order here.
Well, they're in the top 10, I'd imagine.
Listen, we make money.
I know.
And we win trophies, maybe.
I cannot believe this from you.
more valuable team here. Columbus Crew or FC Cincinnati?
Crew, new stadium.
No, they both have new stadiums. They both were built within a year of each other.
I'm going Crew.
I think Cincy.
It is the Crew. They're close. They're close to each other. Very close.
This team almost folded, right? Like a few years ago, or whatever happened.
They were going to move them to Austin.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Let's see. More valuable team: Inter Milan or AC Milan?
AC, even though it's a shit show, or else you wouldn't ask.
I'd say Inter.
It is Inter.
Damn.
They're close. I mean AC Milan. Sorry, AC Milan.
How do you just get that wrong?
Yeah, how do you get that?
I have wrote it down wrong.
All right, that's the last one.
I'm a dummy.
Don't hurt yourself over there, Ken Jennings.
AC Milan and Inter Milan were 14 and 15, by the way. FC Cincinnati and the Crew are 35th for FC Cincinnati and 33rd for the.
Wow, that would have been a really embarrassing trivia question for me, picking like 2 MLS clubs in the top 50, but I would have sucked at that.
I mean, listen. People ask about promotion or relegation, why we don't have it. There you go. There's your
Tommy
answer.
doesn't. Tommy thinks it's useless.
We're not going to. Yeah, it's top 5 battle, promotion or relegation. They don't matter. All right, round the world time. You know where we start. We got to start with the MLS hit it and quit it minute, and the minute man himself, Tyler Terrens. Won't you hit us with what we missed, if we missed it, over the weekend from MLS?
All right. So I hope everybody's well lubricated for the occasion, because we're going to dive right in. We're going to start in the Windy City. Chicago Fire at home against Atlanta United. Atlanta have been on a painful skid since their last win on March 29th, and those skid marks just keep getting browner and they keep getting deeper. Chicago Fire win it by a score of 2-1, as it was Kawame who ended up scoring the game-winning goal, and Greg Berhalter gets his first home win with the Chicago Fire in week number 11. Yes, you heard, or week number 12, excuse me, you heard that correctly. Let's go north of the border, where Toronto FC and DC United played in a game that most people don't care about, but if you do care about it, then Toronto won it by a score of 2-0. Mazel tov to Toronto FC and Robin Fraser and company. Let's go over to my home away from home, and that is Minnesota, where I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. The Loons got a little bit wild on Inter Miami, and that pink phony club, and I'll get to that in a second, fell by a score of 4-1. Eric Ramsey's side getting it done. They don't like to have the ball, but they do like to hand you that L promptly and efficiently. So here you go. Take that, David Beckham. Oh, wait, you're going to slide into the comments section of multiple Instagram posts from Minnesota United's account, and you're going to be a little ticked off that they're starting to have a little bit of a go at you. But when you have the biggest mark on your back in Major League Soccer history, and the commissioner is bending rules for you, there's going to be a little bit of banter. And I feel like we need to be a little bit better about not sliding into comments. I've deleted thousands of tweets over the past few years for fear of this same thing, of repercussions and consequences. Just don't do it. Don't go on social media when your team has lost or something for feeling emotional. Just don't do it. Minnesota United 4-1. Let's go to Red Bulls, where they just simply embarrassed. They embarrassed the team that beat them in the MLS Cup a year ago. 7-0 is the final score. Greg Vandy decided to give his side a good old-fashioned U12 tongue lashing on the field in a big group huddle after the game. And it just went from bad to really, really fucking bad for Greg Vandy and company. Touchdown, extra point. Red Bulls get it done. Cincinnati, meanwhile, take care of business against Austin FC. They bounce back after that loss that snapped their 5-match winning streak. Austin FC's goal scoring struggles continue. They have scored 8 goals so far this season. That's tied for worst in the Western Conference, and it's second to worst in Major League Soccer, only behind Montreal, who have scored 6 goals through the first 12 match days of the season. Speaking of bad Montreal, they did score their 6th goal, but it was the only goal in the game. They beat New York City on the road to accrue their first win of this season. So congratulations to Montreal and, whatever's going on over there. Meanwhile, Philadelphia and Columbus, a game of 2 of the very best teams in the Eastern Conference, and it was a shootout between Barry Carnell and Wilfred Nancy's side. 2-2 is the final score as they split the points along the Delaware River. Meanwhile, in Central Florida, another shootout. 6 goals split right down the middle. Martin Ojeda was brilliant, but it was not enough. As New England Revolution, don't look now, but they might be the only Boston team that's legit this year, and that includes the Celtics. Bing bong, fuck you, how's your life? 3-3 is the final score from Inter & Co Stadium. Meanwhile, St. Louis City at home against San Diego FC, Mikey Barris and company taking care of business yet again. And you know what? For St. Louis City, I don't really feel bad at this point. You decide to shake up your entire team, your coach, the whole fucking roster a year after you win the Western Conference Championship in your expansion season, and it's not going well. Color me not shocked. 2-1 is the final score. FC Dallas and Real Salt Lake play to a 1-1 draw. Meanwhile, Music City, Nashville SC getting a 2-1 win over Charlotte. Charlotte, a lot of people thought we're going to be a top 2 or 3 team in the Eastern Conference several weeks ago. It's not looking like that so much anymore as Dean Smith's side is struggling. And don't look now, but BJ Callahan, a disciple of Greg Berhalter and coming from that coaching tree, if you will, he's certainly bearing the fruits of his labor. Big 3 points at home. Houston Dynamo lose 3-1 on the road, Houston Dynamo at home lose 3-1 to the Seattle Sounders, who quietly, secretly, efficiently, as they always do under Brian Schmetzer, stringing together a very nice beginning of the season. Meanwhile, in Colorado at the Mile High City, a.k.a. Commerce City, San Jose win it by a score of 2-0. Good on Bruce Arena. Over in Providence Park, Portland win it by a score of 1-0 with arguably the goal of the season so far. An even better bicycle kick than Kevin Denke. Santi Moreno with a beautiful touch to set him off and then picks it out in midair for the bicycle kick. And that was the only goal of the game, but that was enough to get Timber Joe's chainsaw going. And no, that's not a metaphor. Meanwhile, Sunday Night Soccer, Vancouver Whitecaps 2, LAFC 2. LAFC scored 2 inside of the first half an hour. Vancouver Whitecaps come storming back. You know what I'm about to say. You know what I'm about to say. Brian White, motherfuckers. This dude is on a different level. 2 goals, both of them to come from behind and get a point out of the game. And I don't care what you say at this point in time. Brian White is the number 9 going into Gold Cup. It's not Haji Wright. It's not Sam. It's not Mikey. It's not Mitch. It's definitely not Tommy because he's not a number 9. And it's certainly not me. The only person who's going to play that position is Brian White. He should be playing 90 minutes a game. And he's our number 9 heading into the World Cup as far as I'm concerned at this very moment. And Sebastian Berhalter will be starting in the middle of the field because he's the best 2-way midfielder in MLS at the moment. Do not at me. Or if you're going to do it, please do it with a little bit of gusto. And that would do it for week number 12 in Major League Soccer.
Woo! You dropping some fire bombs there.
These are fun now that I watch the league.
I mean, now, so you have Brian White as our number 1. Mm-hmm. I never know whether to take you seriously or not. But you have him as our number 1 on the power rankings right now?
Show me somebody else that deserves it.
So just deserve. Okay, so this is just based on performance.
No, it's not just based on deserves. It's based on the fact that he's scored goals for the national team in this half of a decade. Josh Sargent, I'm looking at you. And it's the fact that Ricardo Pepi still remains injured. And there's nobody else right now that, to me, fits into the system, is going to work his ass off, is going to run through a brick wall for this team, for the team and for the country. And, he's just a good fucking striker. It's just as simple as that. And no, he's not 22, and we're not going to have him for the next 3 World Cups, but we have him for this one. And he's the most informed striker in the country, and it's not even close right now. It's not even close.
And did you mean it about Berhalter as well?
Yes, I did. He's playing better than Brian White is right now.
He's playing well. I've watched a lot of him. I've actually watched a lot of Brian White too. They're both playing well.
And the whole thing has worked out so perfectly for Sebastian because if he was doing this while Greg was being a coach, there was no way that Greg could possibly bring him in. So it's perfect that he's playing his best soccer of his life now when Mauricio's the coach, as opposed to what the headlines would have been.
That's a good point.
Fair enough. All right. Well done, sir. We actually did our championship check-in earlier. So Sheffield United took Bristol City out behind the woodshed earlier this week. So they've won 6-0 in their home and home. Sunderland squeaked by Coventry on a 120th minute extra time goal to advance. So they will be playing on, I believe, May 24th, which is a Saturday, in the, as they call it, the richest game in world. I call it world soccer. That ought to be a good one. I will be rooting hard for Sunderland. And yeah, well done, Black Cats. All right, time to move to stoppage time. Now, before we actually get to Ivan Toney's best bets, where we always start here, we got to give a quick word from our other sponsors, from Arc Designs, the best 3D engraver in the business. Tyler, I know you're feverishly looking up your best bet at the moment. Can you give us a word from Arc Designs?
Yes, Arc Designs, very different vibe than our friends over at Kick It, right? Kick It is something you're going to do outdoors. It's something that you're going to love over the course of the summer. But for arcdesigns.com, that's ARCK designs.com, that is going to be the place where you're going to be able to get a coaster 3D laser engraved by a great family-owned and family-run company out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and more specifically Loveland, Ohio, where yours truly currently lives. And they have these great coasters that basically are eagle eye, bird's eye blueprints of your favorite stadium of your choice, whether they have it in stock or whether they have it on the website or not. If they don't have it, just go to the customary toggle, say what stadium, what team, and then they'll do it. Like, for instance, if you want Gillette Stadium, okay, but you don't want the Patriots and you want the New England Revolution, then you can say that, and they'll do it for you custom. I have one made myself, not because I'm a Revolution fan, because it's where I called my first ever MLS game. So if it's sentimental, if it's fandom, if it's shithousery, whatever it's going to be, Arc Designs is the place for you to be able to give that gift to somebody, whether it's a birthday gift, Father's Day, whatever, belated Mother's Day gift, or if you just want to get some for yourself. And by the way, the winner of the Sam's Army Discord Cup is going to get two, you heard it here correctly, 2 trophies that are going to come in the form of an arcdesigns.com coaster of teams of your choosing. And again, they have soccer, they have basketball, they have football, NCAA, NFL, NBA, whatever you need, they got it. They're awesome. Glad to be partners with them. arcdesigns.com, code SAM25.
Well done, as always, sir. All right, stoppage time, where I was just going to launch into Ivan Toney's best bets with my hat until I realized I brought my hat downstairs like an absolute idiot. Not as much of an idiot as somebody who kicks the table on the live stream there, but a big idiot nonetheless. But that's okay. That's okay. We got some good picks for Ivan Toney's best bets in the Overtrain here, coming off of a very good week for the Overtrain last week. We went 4-1. And all 4 of the wins went over 3.5. Several of them went over 4.5 and 5.5. And how I do this, when I pick the best bets, I tend to ladder bet them. So I start with 2.5, and then I tend to go up to over 6.5. So that worked out pretty well last week. I feel good. Let's get back on this train. Keep it going. We're going to start on Wednesday. Remember, 1 over per day, Wednesday through Sunday, 5-a-side Overtrain. Wednesday, we are going San Jose versus Inter Miami in MLS. Inter Miami just got their shit kicked in by Minnesota United. And I think that game might have about 10 goals each in it on Wednesday. Thursday, we are going to the Icelandic Cup. K.A. Akureyri. That's definitely not how it's pronounced, but that's how we're going to go with it. I think that is. K.A. Akureyri versus Fram Reykjavik in Icelandic Cup. Friday in Belgium, OH Leuven is hosting Westerlo. Saturday, we're going to the Bundesliga. Mönchengladbach hosting Wolfsburg. And then Sunday, heading over to Hungary, where Debrecen is hosting Paxi. And there we go. 5-a-side. These are all going over. Let's go get some goals and let's go get some monies. All right, Mikey, who you got Ivan Toney's best bet this week?
Those piss me off more and more every single week. I promise you that.
Yeah, you hate money. You must hate money. Is
do.
what I'm hearing.
I do. I'm allergic to it. Got 3 for you in the MLS because we got a Wednesday night slate with a million games, which came out of nowhere and honestly is a treat. So you have to bet it. Unfortunately, the books have caught on to my David DaCosta score assists. That's been happening every week. It's been plus 240 every single week. I've been hitting that, but that's now dropped. If it hasn't dropped for your book, take it. It's a great bet. I got 3 guys. Scorer assist, Diego Rossi coming up against Montreal. Love that. Christian Arango, San Jose into Miami is going to have 8 goals in it, right, Tyler? I think so. And Arango is going to get on there somewhere. And then my last one, after you hit those 2 and you're sweating at the end of the night, Ryan Kent to get an assist is still plus 300. He's had one in each of his first appearances, first 3, I believe. And he seems to be one of those guys who comes in and is at a higher level, at least initially, than the rest of the players on the pitch. So I like Ryan Kent a lot. That's plus 300 to finish it off. That put those together plus 1580, do what I do with a round robin, and you're looking at a fun evening. So I'm probably going to end up playing 8 to 10 different people on that night and put them all together. But those are the 3 that I would give out.
All right. Well done. Tyler, who you got for us?
I've got a Wednesday parlay, and apologies to anybody who's not going to listen to this podcast in time to be able to place this bet because you're going to make some money off it. We got a 3-way parlay. We got Houston Dynamo winning. Oh, no, I don't like that. We've got Austin FC beating Atlanta United. That's the game that I'm doing. Austin are at home. And then you've got San Jose beating Inter Miami at home. And that's going to come out to 425. I had a third leg for you, and I don't like it. I don't like it as much. It was, you know something? Let's roll with it. Minnesota United to beat Houston on the road. They're a team that hates to have the ball. Houston claim themselves a possession-based team. I think that Minnesota will beat them. So that's going to increase it to plus 1265. So that's more like it as far as, that's more rich for my blood.
There you go. Casual 1265
Yeah.
on the old parlay. Well done. By the way, Dalton pointed out in the Discord chat, which you should be in if you're not there, get on the Patreon for that. Pointed out that we have the FA Cup final, which was in my notes, and because I can't read very well, I completely skipped over it. We have the FA Cup final this weekend, Palace versus Manchester City at Wembley. Mikey was there for the semifinal. He can speak on, and I think he did speak on how much their being the Crystal Palace fans showed up and showed out that weekend.
I'd like to say something about that game. That should have a Champions League place. Fuck 5th. The winner of the FA Cup should get the Champions League spot in England.
They do get Europa, correct?
Yeah, but that means nothing anymore, clearly.
It's just it gets so hairy just in case a second division side were ever to win it.
That'd be great.
But then you have to have every single cup, every domestic cup open to.
Yeah, I just feel like Europa's, if Palace were to beat City and finish this run, Europa doesn't feel right.
Or if you get the extra coefficient like England got it this year, then the FA gets to decide whether it goes to the FA Cup winner or if it goes to, I love that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Quick thing. Do you guys think Palace, listen, this is a Manchester City team that had just drew with Southampton.
I think Palace win it.
I hope so, man.
I really hope so. That'd be awesome. I think I think we already talked about this. Everybody's got to be rooting hard for Palace in this game. And they've played well. They're a tough team to beat. Manchester City is obviously beatable. I don't think they will, but I'm rooting for them. All right, go is time. Finish strong. Tyler, what do you got for us?
Minnesota United admin.
God damn it! You took mine.
Yeah.
They did. Listen,
I mean, not just the admin, but also the Wonderwall, because I think that the TIFO, culture over cash, and what was it? Something over hype.
Yeah, so it was history over hype, culture over cash on the TIFO.
And then David Beckham responded promptly, respect over everything. And then the Minnesota admin on social media decided to post with the caption "Pink Phony Club" and the final score incredible. And then David Beckham also decided to chime in on that one. So not once, but twice did my man get caught with the twitchy fingers that so many of us mere mortals also get caught with. Honestly, it's just a good reminder that everybody's susceptible to it. And we should all just stay off social media when we're feeling emotional.
I mean, there were more like Minnesota. I keep saying Minnesota United's social admin has a bone to pick with Miami. I don't know what I know everybody kind of has it out for Miami a little bit. This was a little over. Like the only way to wear pink today. They posted some kids with little pink shirts on, and then they posted something that was just Opa, and then it had an emoji sort of stick figure with a Yankees hat, Inter Miami shirt, Lakers shorts, and I guess that's it. Like it was taken off on the Duke meme. Anyway, I mean, like that was a lot. That was a lot of tweets in or I assume it was Instagram as well. But over the course of like an hour, they were just going ham on Inter Miami. And I listen, you can do that when you beat somebody's ass 4-1. So shout out to them for that one. All right, Mikey.
This is not gonna go over well. I have a negative GOA, and it's a really negative one. Marge, the 101-year-old Nottingham Forest fan who hadn't seen the club play in 30 years, came to watch her team play and is now going to be going to matches again. Fair weather, fake ass, wait for them to get back to Europe to come back to the club. Pathetic. Marge, do better. Front runner, embarrassing.
Is Peaches deep cover Marge? Is that
I was just gonna say we're definitely gonna get a response from Peaches on this one. I feel like you can't go after Marge like that.
Like it's like going after Sister Jean of Loyola Chicago.
Marge, it's embarrassing. Marge, you should be ashamed. Where were you in the championship, Marge?
Oh goodness! All right. The true hater comes out every now and again in Mikey. And I can appreciate that. Pathetic. I'll give a couple shout outs. I actually really liked the U.S. men's national team and a U.S. women's national team kit that they just came out with
that's a good
pinstripes. I like it too.
I think they did a good job there. So teams and whoever makes those type of things, they typically get shit on a lot. I kind of like that. I kind of like that jersey. So shout out to them. Honorable mention. Good one and bad one. Bad one. Inter Milan fans, excuse me, from last week, leaving the Barcelona game early, just insane. Like that same thing with Manchester United a few days before. You go to games to see those moments. That's why you go to games. Imagine leaving a game like that, a 1-goal game. Manchester United at least were like 2 goals down. Inter Milan, it was 1 goal. And they left the game. That was crazy. So they tried to get back in after Inter Milan drew, equalized, and then they missed. They couldn't get in, so they missed the winner. That's on the bad side. The good side, I'm giving it to Sunderland's, field crew, groundskeeping crew, whoever it is that decided we're going to move in the ad boards about 2 yards from where they normally are to put them very close to the edge of the field. Basically not allowing Coventry to do their long throw-in thing, which apparently has been very effective all season long. That's not even shithousery. That's just having a big brain and playing to your advantage. I actually was gonna, in fact, I'll leave it at that because I got a good one for Weekly What If next week. Leave it at that for this week. All right, Tyler, Mikey, Tommy. Thank you, boys. Everybody in the Discord chat, love you all deeply. And everybody that's listening, you guys are the best. We'll be back bigger and better, if not faster and stronger next week. See you guys then.